Yo, what's up, guys? I'm Fire here back with a video, and today I'm bringing you guys my top 5 playbooks for Madden 22. This is just going to be based on the end of the year in Madden 21, what I think will be the best playbooks. Of course, when the actual game comes out, I will probably make a video on my favorite playbooks offensively and defensively in Madden 22. Again, once the actual game is out, I did a video like that this year. Did pretty well. You guys liked it, so that will definitely be something that I will be doing when the actual game is released. But this is just more of a prediction video, what I like, what you like, and what you could possibly be running yourself. Just giving you guys some tips to start the year on what offense I think you guys should be in. Anywho, we're going to give our top 5 playbooks, starting out with number 5, and that is going to be the Seattle Seahawks, as seen right there in that left corner, or not corner rather. I'm on next gen just for this. I don't know why, but I've just been playing next gen in preparation a lot for Madden 22. So we're next gen. Again, doesn't really matter as far as this video is concerned. Obviously not a gameplay, but let's go over the Seattle Seahawks playbook. Gonna start out, of course, with the gun formations, and you saw right there already, I was on that gun bunch. Now, we're mainly gonna focus on the usable formations. Of course, there are always different good formations, especially if you're not a meta guy, but we're gonna go over main stuff, things that I would actually run myself. Starting out, we're gonna go into the wide trips, solid wide trips. Wide trips, nice little formation to audible 2. That's the same case scenario for this gun trips tight end offset. Nice little audible threat. Next up, you got just a standard gun bunch, but there's something different about this gun bunch, and I'll show you what is different. You got 2 different plays. Starting out with that one on the right side with Tyler Lockett, you got that clear out SE out play. Very solid play, very unique play. You can't get that tight end post route, and this is why, because really you can go into any gun bunch playbook at the end of the year and be good, but at the beginning of the year you don't have every ability. You don't have Hot Route Master. You don't have everything accessible to you, and that is ultimately where the better stock plays come into the game, and that is where Seattle has probably one of the better gun bunches. Again, it comes down to personal preference. So they got clear out SE out on the right side. Of course, Z spot and go, bench pivot, bunch trail, inside cross, and here's the other play that I wanted to talk about in being this tight end hook play you see on that right hand side. Gives us a little nice corner route, a nice crossing route, nice little spacing route with your tight end. Of course, you got verticals, flood, mesh posts. You also have read options, so very unique. But overall, one of the better bunches in the game. Some people do consider it the best bunch. Really depends, again, on that personal preference. But moving on, you got the bunch tight end, which includes basically every play you need now. It does not have tight end corner, which is a little bit unfortunate, but still pretty solid. And for these main reasons, I'm going to put it at number 5. Last but not least, you got some things like Trey Y flex. You have a nice little red zone formation in the strong H slot. Of course, you do have some heavier stuff as well. But let's go ahead and move on to playbook number 4. All right, moving on to number 4, we got the Baltimore Ravens offensive playbook. Now, I am going to try and keep any bias from myself out of this, and I'm going to try and just appeal to everybody's play style. So that would include running the ball. I'm a big passing guy. I don't really run the ball at all, but a lot of people do run the ball, and that's where these unique formations, good running formations, good running playbooks will come into hand. Number 4, Baltimore. Very unique playbook. You have a lot of unique formations. I have actually made a video on a lot of these formations, including, but not limited to, the gun deuce close, gun wing. You also have gun bunch. Of course, you have a spread Y flex. You have a lot of stuff, a lot of good pistol formations, pistol spread. This pistol strong slot, very solid. Pistol wing flex, also a very solid. And then you have a pistol bunch. So we're just going to go into depth on what I think are the good ones. Of course, in this particular playbook, you're going to be audibling around a lot. Go watch TD Barrett on him. Go watch his Club Series game if you want to know, in my opinion, the best way to run it. That is the best way, the way he ran it. A lot of audibling around, a lot of unique stuff, unique play design that people don't expect. So you got read options, you got solid plays, of course, a lot of running the ball, 0-1 traps, read options, things like that, mobile QBs, college style offense. Of course, you guys know how the Ravens play. Right here, you got a Ravens QB power. This is probably my favorite formation personally in the offense, the gun wing. I love this formation as far as some off-meta stuff. You got a lot of solid runs, some pretty good passes as well. Also, you can go to the 3 wide receiver package and get yourself 3 wide receivers. also should help out with the audibling around. You can then go to a gun bunch from the gun wing. Of course, if you want audible deuce close, keep those 2 tight ends. But wide trips, we already talked about that. Solid formation. Then you have some things like just random stuff. This formation, solid. You got a tray offset, which would kind of be your trips tight end offset in this particular playbook. Of course, gun bunch, not a bad bunch. You do have that clear out, SE out play we were talking about. You got a Z spot, spacing, corner strike, verticals, bench pivot. So it is solid. You don't have things like flood or some other nice plays, but it is usable. And then of course, the spread Y flex, pretty solid. You guys should know about this formation. You got plays like circle, Ravens Y shallow, PA deep outs, and of course, some good runs out of there in addition to those. So that's pretty much it. Of course, the pistol formations, you can do a lot of audibling around. You can get very creative with this. Very difficult to run QB runs in next gen. Not sure, again, we don't know what current gen's gonna really look like, but next gen, pretty dang difficult to run the ball with your quarterback. I did try running with the Ravens, and it's pretty difficult to pick up yards on the ground out of pistol. So, of course, running formations, heavy sets, things like that, but that's pretty much it for the Ravens playbook. Solid playbook for passers and runners. And for the balance, I decided to put it over Seattle. Let's go ahead, hop into number 3 now. All right, man, hopping into number 3, we got the New England Patriots offensive playbook. Pretty tough for me to decide between these top 3. They could really go into any order you want. And the top 5, you can kind of take with a grain of salt in the particular order that I'm actually doing it. And you could really just, put it in whatever order you want in retrospect. But pretty solid for playbook here. We got everything that you would want as a runner, as a passer, literally anything you want in this playbook. And that's why you see a lot of bots use it, because they like to switch formations. If they're running coach suggestions, of course, they're going to like this playbook. But starting out with split close, solid formation. You can build a scheme around split close. You can build a scheme around a slot offset. Good running the ball, good passing the ball. You can build a scheme around, there it is, Y off trips, U trips. Very, very solid formation. That's why this playbook is so good. You have almost 5 completable schemes out of just the gun formations in this entire playbook. So we got Y trips, or U trips rather. Then you also have a good trips tight end. The reason this trips tight end is, some would even put it over the Raiders or Chargers, is because of this one play, and it is going to be that 45 quick base at the bottom. Very, very solid play to run the ball, especially against 3-3-5 wide defenses, which may or may not be back in Madden 22. Guess time will tell, but I do think it's pretty good in Madden 22. You got, of course, the basic plays: inside cross, PA counter go, curl flat, verticals, everything you need. PA slot corner, shot wheel, and double in sail. Also PA counter go, I believe. I don't know if I passed it, but maybe it's not even in this playbook. But solid trips, one of the better trips. Again, all depends personal preference. What do you like? What don't you like? But gun bunch, not the best bunch. You got some unique plays like a pat sail, but other than that, doesn't bring a whole lot to the table. You don't even have a Z spot, so it's definitely not. If you're running bunch, you're not going to be in Patriots playbook. But if you had audible for a 4th down, you had a couple of abilities, you could definitely go to the bunch, and it's always nice to have in the offensive playbook, as I'm sure you guys would know. So, of course, you got some nice spread formations. You don't have a Trey White flex, just a weird trips tight end flex, not a good formation at all. 5 wide, you got some nice weak close, but other than those 5 formations, this offense doesn't bring really too much to the table. I do like the wide trips out of it. It has some solid plays like a stretch, power O, halfback dive. Solid stuff out of there. You got a bunch, wing slot, not a bad formation, but you're not going to be running under center really out of Patriots. Some bots do run this ace close, but you're going to be running those 5 main gun formations, and that's the reason that I put it at number 3. All right, man, hopping into number 2. Again, tough decision for these top 3 altogether. Maybe an even tougher decision between 1 and 2, or 2 and 1, I guess, but Raiders playbook coming in at number 2, as you see. Again, difficult decision. This one more balanced, but I gotta go with personal preference when I'm deciding the 1 and 2. Come on now, what I actually run, what I actually like to run. But this formation, this playbook has it all. Tight doubles, good formation. You got doubles, halfback weak. Some people like it, some people don't. Of course, wide trips, halfback weak, same as the wide trips weak. You got trips tight end. This trips tight end really has it all besides that quick base. So if you don't need quick base, you can definitely run Raiders. Offers a lot to the table. Bunch tight end. Very nice to have a trips tight end, bunch tight end. That's one of the main reasons that I put it over New England, is just because of having bunch tight end. I would rather have bunch tight end than some formations like a split close, where there's not really an audible threat between these two. At least if you're running trips tight end Patriots, you can't really audible to anything. But solid gun bunch, probably a little bit better than the Patriots. It does have some plays like flood, bunch trail, Z spot, spacing, so vertical. So I would give it the edge over the Patriots, certainly. You got some other things. Tight slot tap back week's not good anymore. You got a nice little spread. The spread doesn't have any really of the good plays that Ravens does, but you got a nice little Trey White flex here. Solid plays. Some people like it, some people don't again, but not only do you have the gun bunch, but you can actually audible down if you want to, which is not the case with a lot of these playbooks, but you have some really good running formations, strong close. Again, tough to say if under center will be good until we see what current gen looks like. Next gen, under center, not very good, but solid running formations if you're a runner. Of course, we got all the I-form formations, everything you would want, wing flex close, deuce close, pretty much everything that you would need. So overall, solid balanced playbook for runners and passers, and especially the people that actually like to do both. So overall, very good playbook. A lot of people will be running the Raiders playbook, and I expect that to continue in Madden 22. Let's hop into my personal favorite though, number 1. And last but not least, coming in at numero uno, we got the New York Football Jets offensive playbook. Pretty solid playbook. It's not as diverse per se as some of the other ones, but I had to give it the edge because it's my favorite playbook, and it's probably what I'll be running for the first week at least, until I find an offense that I'm super comfortable in. Again, usually what people do in the first week, they'll go to a basic offense that they've ran for years, and I've always ran this gun bunch tight end like the first week of Madden, just because it's basic, simple reads, a lot of really good stock routes. But mainly, these 3 formations are what makes the playbook, and you have a really good bunch, the best bunch tight end, and then, of course, trips tight end offset to audible to run the football. You got a nice RPO, trap, and then you also have some decent passing plays like crossers and level sail. You get over the bunch tight end, again, every play you want. Top 3 right here, very solid plays. You got inside switch, mesh, which mesh is not in every single playbook. Tight end corner, not in every single playbook. So you pretty much have everything you need, and you do have inside zone instead of off tackle, which some playbooks have as well. But pretty solid. Let's come down to the main part, which is bunch. Bunch will, I can almost guarantee it, be the most popular formation, at least for the beginning of the game. Maybe there's a meta we don't know about. Cannot guarantee anything, but bunch will always be good in Madden. So as long as it's in the game, it'll be one of the best, if not the best formation. So we got to go to the playbook that has the best bunch, and that is going to be the Jets. You got spacing switch, Z-spot, you got flood, you got mesh, you got bunch trail, verticals, bench pivot, you got mesh post, Jets dig, everything you need. Now again, some people could prefer like a West Coast, but for me, it's Jets playbook. Not only that, you do have like some other good formations here. Doubles halfback week, again, not too bad. You do have some other formations, of course, not as diverse, like I said, as the Raiders, Patriots would be, but you do have some nice little audible threats. My favorite is going to be the wide trips to audible down to. You got a stretch, you got a power O, you have an 0-1 trap, very solid audible threat, red zone offense, and yeah, you got some wing slot stuff. But that's going to do it for the video. Again, let me know if you want to see defense. Probably will end up making that regardless if you guys want to see it or not, but that's going to do it for the video. If you enjoyed, make sure you go ahead, smack a like button, subscribe to the channel for more, and peace. I'm out of here.